Hi, this is John with The Evolving World. Today I'm doing a quick video on modifying my Fiat 500e. This time we're going to be upgrading the tail lights to the European style, 2016 and newer cars. So I just got these directly from Europe. I actually had to buy 5 different parts to make this work, but it's going to be an interesting experience here. So these are designed for the European cars only, and we're going to have to modify them a little bit to make them work on our US car here. So basically you have to get the tail lights, then you have to get the actual inserts that go in the middle here, which are, they basically go in like this. So they come primed. This is how they come right here, basically primed, ready for paint. And then we're going to have to go ahead and paint those to body color to match the car, and then we're going to be doing wire and harness conversions. So that's going to be the whole setup here. Basically 5 different parts to make this work. Been gathering everything I need. And so that's what this video is going to be about today. So I want to show you a couple things though. I know things that I found when I was looking for these. They look like they're LED tail lights, right? If you see them when they're on, they have this kind of light that comes around like this. But the funny thing is, they're actually not LED lights. You can add LED conversions to them, but just like any other tail light, you could do the same thing. But with these, they're actually just good old-fashioned incandescent bulbs. Here, I've already loosened this up here. So here's what we have here. So it's just an incandescent bulb. So you know it has your tail and your brake light right there, and then it has your turn signal right there. And so the reverse, I guess when they updated the car to this style tail light for Europe, they added the reverse light down low, so it's actually in the bumper. So that's why there's no reverse light. It's actually down in the bumper. So I'm not going to need to do that on my car. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit more custom, a little bit more interesting. So this to me looks so clean. I like the look of it. So what I want to do is, there's never a chance when I'm going to have amber turn signals going at the same time as reverse lights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a reverse light into this unit here. There's actually room in here to do that. And if you look right on top here, so you can kind of look in there. So this is where right there is where the amber light goes in, but then there's also like a little hatch above there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stick our reverse lights in there. I got special harnesses that I bought specifically for that. So I'm going to go and show you the whole process of how that works. I think I got everything I need, so let's go ahead and get that started here. So here's all the parts we're going to be using on today's install. So I already showed you, we had our tail lights right here, and we got our inserts, and some other parts we're going to need. We're going to use these, got these 5-pin connectors here, got these on Amazon, a 5-pack. I actually bought 10 of them, so it actually worked out to be about $3 per connector. So 3 and 3. And then on eBay, I got these little, this is going to be for our reverse light. I bought like a 10-pack of these for $5, so only 50 cents each, so about $1. This is, we're going to work these into the element here to make that work. And then lastly, we got our touch-up paint here. This is supposed to be the good stuff. It's pretty expensive. It costs like $52, and that's including everything, shipping and tax and all that. But so we actually have a base coat, we have our pearl metallic coat, and we have our clear coat on top of that. So it's supposed to be the good stuff. We'll see if it works. It's supposed to be color matched perfectly to our car. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, as far as costs, $254 for the pair. These guys were ridiculously overpriced because I bought it from a place on the East Coast. And it ended up shipping directly from the UK, which I should have just bought it directly from the UK. But $75 total rip-off. It should be a $10 item, but it's like, you have to do what you have to do. I couldn't find any other place to buy them, and I really wanted to get this done. And I don't like to do tacky stuff, so I want to make sure that we have our matching, because it would look quite different if it was like that versus like that. It's going to be totally different. So anyway, $75 rip-off, but gotta do what you gotta do. So total cost is about $340, not including labor. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to paint our inserts here. This is probably going to be the most time consuming as far as just waiting for paint to dry. Although, according to the instructions here, it says that you can wait about 10 minutes between coat, which I find that hard to believe, but we'll see if it works or not. So yeah, we have our base coat. We want to do 2 coats of base coat, 2 coats of metallic coat, and then 2 coats of clear coat. So 6 coats of paint. It's probably going to take a couple hours. So in between coats of paint, you can go ahead and start taking the taillights off here. I found something really interesting when I took this off, and I didn't even realize this myself, is that our new connectors that we bought kind of match our existing connectors. So how cool is that? So we won't even have to modify this. This can stay the way it is, and we'll just use our new, we'll only need the female connector here, or I guess the male connector, because there's pins sticking out, right? So I guess we'll only need this guy to tap into our new light. So this is definitely the stuff you want to get on Amazon. This is the brand name here. Comes in a 5-pack. High quality connectors. So note that. I'm going to save a lot of time here because basically we already got our connector right here. So all we can do is snap right into this. So if we want to go back and go back to the old lighting, we can go ahead and do that at any given time. Maybe you decide to sell the car and you want to take the Euro lights with you. You could just simply you know, go ahead and snap the old lights back in. So we won't have to modify the existing wiring at all. So how cool is that? So the next step is to use your new connector right here, and since this matches perfectly, you can just snap this in place. And you just take the existing lights out, and you can kind of just trace the lines of where it's going. So the middle wire is the ground wire, because you can see that it traces back to all of the elements. It touches all of the different bulbs. And then you basically just trace each one back to figure out what goes to what. And then you just mark your wires right here, color code it. So the blue wire will be the ground in this case. And then we'll just simply take this wire right here and trace it back to what these go to. We'll just do the same procedure basically, trace where these go to. Okay, so I tied our reverse light in here. You can see it's right there. I kind of just wrapped it around the thing, and then I just tied it around here. Just kind of a figure 8 kind of tie deal there. And I think that will work pretty nicely. It doesn't obstruct the turn signal too much, I don't think. Got a big reflector in there, so it should work fine. And then what I've done over here is I brought in our connector here, and I left the standard one in place and just drilled a little 1/4-inch hole and put our new adapter in there. This is going to plug straight into our existing wiring. And so now all we have to do is basically solder these wires to the bars there, and then make a connection to this one for the reverse light. Right, here's my rig here. I soldered these wires right there, another one down here, and I used some splices, these things right here, to hook up my reverse light. And so there it is. Let's just put this thing together and see what we got. Okay, I just plugged it in. Check out that. Is that beautiful? I like how clean it is. It just looks so, it looks so much cleaner than this side. This side, it just has so much of this wonkiness going on. There's so much like blank, like not used area. Like up here, there's nothing being used, nothing down here. There's all this chrome and then red. It just looks too busy. Whereas this, it just looks so clean. Meanwhile, after 7 coats of paint, 3 base coats, 2 pearl coats, and then 2 clear coats, this is what these look like. Alright, it's the morning after. I wanted to make sure that the paint was dry and everything, because I'm going to be touching it as I press fit this in place. As this is just used, has double-sided tape basically is what holds it in place here. So we're ready to go ahead and do this now. We'll peel off the plastic here, and we'll go ahead and insert these guys. They look quite lovely. I really like how these look. Very nice. Oh yeah, and I guess since we have this painted now, is that a color match? So that looks pretty close. How does that look? Does that look like it matches? Pretty close. I mean, it probably depends on how we look at it from different angles. Seems like it's about right. mean, my finish is not as good as the factory, of course, but should be adequate. So that's how it's going to go in here. So you just remove the tape here, and then there's actually 4 pins on it, and it actually clicks into place. It's pretty much, you're not going to mess it up or anything. It's not like you have to fuss with it. It only goes in one way. It clicks in nice and tight, and then you press down on it just to hold it in place even more. So there it is. That looks gorgeous. I love how that matches the body color. It gives it a totally different look. It looks like it's almost as if the like the taillights popping out from the metal, like the sheet metal all the way around here, and it's like cut out or something from the actual car, because it does line up. Check it out. See, it does line up with the edge. It's like the metal is continuing on, and it's like somebody cut out the metal and put a taillight around the metal, like a hole in the metal. I love it. So here they are, turned on. They look absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe how one little element of the car can change the whole shape of the car. It's absolutely amazing how much better that looks. Just makes it look like a totally different car. I mean, that's crazy. They look so good. It just, that whole shape just, it matches the silhouette of the car perfectly. And I love how the centerpiece matches the body color. It's just that looks beautiful. I love that design element. That just makes it look, it just looks so good. I can't believe that such a little thing can make such a big difference. It's just absolutely amazing. So one thing I forgot to mention is when they relocated the reverse light down to the bumper somewhere, they also relocated the reflector. So like most taillights, all taillights have red reflectors built into it. So this one does not. It has no kind of red reflector at all. So they relocated it down here wherever. So that's one thing to look out for, I guess. I don't know, maybe you could buy a generic red one and slap it on here if you really want to look tacky as hell. But probably what could happen is get like a little one or something and maybe kind of discreetly put it down here.